And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics. Let's chug along to our next segment, and this time we're talking about Android Basics. And now we're talking about those ebook readers, guys. We started this 3 years ago when we talked about ebook readers and in our categories that we'll be visiting. But like I indicated earlier on, we'll be talking about these two ebook readers, the Easy Reader from Dolphin and the Legere, aka Voice Dream Reader. I have both of these, and for me, to be honest, these ebook readers, and I'm starting with Easy Reader. It's a great reader. I mean, it does have its own faults and all of that. There's one problem that I have with Easy Reader, and that has to do with the fact that it wouldn't let you read PDFs without, you subscribing to whatever you're from some educational system or whatever. That's the one thing that I find to be problematic with Easy Dolphin Reader. Does any of you use this e-reader at all or have tried it at all at some point? Karen, I know you try ebook readers. John is not an ebook reader guy. I know that. But have you tried the Easy Reader at some point, Karen?
Well, maybe I did before, but I don't remember anything about it. I'm sure that it didn't interest me enough to use it. Actually, I'm more into the mainstream apps because I think they give you already what you need. And other than that, the blind-related apps, unfortunately, don't give you something special to use them. This is my opinion, actually. But for me, I don't think that until now the blind-related apps are giving me anything special. Neither the Voice Dream nor the Easy Reader. However, I just used the Tech Freedom document reader. I don't know if you want to talk about it this week or next week, but it's a blind-related feature app, and it's a feature of this app. So I don't know if you want to discuss it this week or next week.
Yeah, well, since we're talking about this, we might just throw this in as a serendipity kind of thing. But before we get to that Tech Freedom, I think that one of the things that the Blind-Centric ones, for example, I'm looking at that Easy Reader, is the fact that it supports like the different libraries, blindness libraries like NLS, Bookshare, and, you have similar organizations across the world. Like, I don't know, there's one in Australia, there's one in the UK, the RNIB, and I think it has like maybe 13 different libraries that it supports, libraries that are, especially for the blind, and it supports that. My only, gripe with Dolphin is that it doesn't let you read PDFs without being that special member or whatever. And, my thinking is that if you're doing something for the blind, and most especially, we have a lot of challenges when it comes to PDFs. I don't know about you guys, but most oftentimes than not, PDFs kind of still remain a very difficult process for most of us and things like that. I'm not talking about things like docs and TXT files and all of that. PDFs are still a little bit of a challenge to a lot of people, and one would think that an organization like these guys from a blindness, app would kind of look into that and open up this feature to people, but no, it's not. And it used to be that they had their own TTS voices that were like vocalizer voices, and for some reason, it was like $9 per voice. And so they got rid of that because I think no one was buying that. There was no way to, for me to buy, such an expensive, TTS. And then another thing was that it wasn't letting people use their own local TTS engines. For example, even if I had Vocalizer TTS and I would want to use it with it, it wouldn't let me do that. So now all that it uses is exclusively the Google Voices. So, those are some of the things that the Easy Reader has, but I think the big thing for it, in my never to be humble opinion, is the fact that it has support for these other libraries for the blind around the world. Sally, are you an ebook reader user?
Yeah, obviously. So speaking of libraries, I think Easy Reader is probably the most popular one here in Turkey because one of the most preferred blind-related library, the GETEM library of the universities in Turkey, they are on Easy Reader. So if those members of the library, they want to read the audiobooks, the ebooks, anything related from that library, they can download Easy Reader for free and they can just log in with their account. And this is super awesome. We first tried that with Tech Freedom, but that was in their early days. But then Dolphin and the university, they did some partnership, and then they're letting users to browse the catalog and download the books, audiobooks for free, and listen to on their devices. This is crazy, and this is really good for those who want to listen to those books.
Yeah, so that's a big plus for the Easy Reader. Now, the other one though is the Legere, the AKA voice dream reader. I think it's kind of like become less and less melodious, among blind people. Have you tried using that, Sally?
Well, I was using Voice Dream Reader on my Fruitvale days, but then when I switched back to Android, I didn't find it as intuitive as it is on the iOS side. It's like they have this version of Android on there, but it's not really user-friendly, and there are a lot of details they need to work on it. And since the Android branch is purchased by a French company, they're probably not paying attention to much accessibility,
Yeah, that's kind of sad. So that's one of the problems. And I don't remember if this supports Bookshare. I want to go on the limb that I think it does, and maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it lately, but Legere, it doesn't seem to get a lot of updates. I know I got an update maybe like last month and something like that. But other than that, yeah, I've heard about, those that have it on both iOS, Fruitvale, aka Fruitvale, say that the experience is a little bit different or more intuitive, like you said, on Fruitvale than it is on Android. And so I have never had the need to purchase it on my Fruitvale device. I do have some older Fruitvale devices here. I think the oldest one I have is the 8. I think that's the last one that I have. I just don't bother about Fruitvale devices. But yeah, so, and I didn't know if it will allow me to log on to using my email that I use in purchasing the app on Android. I have no clue. Do you know if it synchronizes? I mean, in other words, would I?
No, it definitely doesn't synchronize.
I will need to buy it separate, so it's not like one of those apps that if you have it on one platform and so long as you use the same login, you should be good to go.
Obviously, you need to purchase like
yeah, so if you're doing that, that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. Because I shouldn't be doing that. But some apps are like that. You have to buy it on both sides of the aisle, and I just don't care about that.
Warren, actually, as far as I know, now it's a different company. So we're not actually talking about the same app. And this saved the Android version from the trouble, the drama that happened when they decided on iOS to make it a subscription-based app, and they decided to prevent people who have purchased the lifetime subscription, and there was a lot of back and forth stuff, and until they decided to just change this decision. It's now a subscription-based app, but people who have purchased the app before are still able to use the old features, but they won't get new updates. So this was the solution to calm people down. But on Android, we didn't have this trouble because it's actually a different company.
I see. So in order to kind of please people, okay, we're going to let you have all that you need, but you may not have, updates. Because like I said, I had purchased it earlier. I was one of their beta testers when it was with the other Voice Dream guys. And then when it became Legere, I know that my purchase still carried through. But like I said, though, frankly, like you, Karen, I've not been using the Blind-Centric apps a lot, to be honest. I kind of use like the off-the-shelf ones that we'll be talking about in our part 2 and all of that. But so I didn't know the wrangling that was with this thing. So now I have a better understanding as to what's going on.
It reminds me a little bit of what happened with Pocket Casts, because they used to have you could buy it as an app, and then when they started like their subscription model, they're like, okay, if you bought it previously, you can still use all the features that were included with that, but if you want any new features that we add in the future, you have to be subscribed to get it.
Talking about Pocket Casts, John, so I had purchased it earlier on before NPR purchased it from these guys. And NPR, we're talking about National Public Radio here in the States. And after they purchased that, like you said, there are certain things that I couldn't do. For example, I think in order for me to have the chapters, I had to do the 99-cent purchase, a subscription per month to be able to do that. And then, of course, they added the cloud storage. I don't need to be storing anything in the cloud. What's the point? If
you want it to sync between your devices, like your PC and your phone, I think you have to be subscribed for that as well.
Interesting. Yeah. So someone's got to make a buck somewhere, right? I think that's what it all boils down to. Karen, you are going to talk a little bit about the tech freedom. Talk a little bit about some of the things that are similar, because we're talking about blindness-related items here. And of course, Tech Freedom does have the ebook reading capability because, as we indicated earlier on, it's like a Swiss Army knife here. So how is your experience when it comes to ebook reading?
Okay, so the document reader is a feature of the Tech Freedom app. So you need to install the Tech Freedom app to have the document reader. It's a basic, simple document reader, but it has also its good capabilities. Well, when you open, first of all, you can only import files from your device. Or actually use Dropbox or, the regular import thing. It doesn't support external libraries, so you have to get the file and import it. This is the first thing. It supports a good number of extensions, which is great. You can open Word documents, you can open PDF, you can open EPUBs, TXT files. So what it does, it divides the document to pages, and you can read them using your screen reader. And it doesn't scroll directly between pages, so you have to go to the next page or to the previous page when you want to go back, or to swipe with 2 fingers, right or left. And actually, it's a good one. It loads the documents quickly. It doesn't preserve the formatting, which is, I think, a problem with most or maybe all the readers out there. So you can't, for example, use headings, use links to move between the links if there are links. It has table of contents, but it only supports PDF until now, as far as I know. So it will be good if they are able to include EPUBs as well, but this is the case for now. However, the good things about it are, other than its quick loading of the files, it supports 11 Labs voices. They had limitations. As far as I know, the limitations are lifted now, so people are able to convert as many pages as they want. However, people should just, they shouldn't abuse the feature, I think. So maybe it's better to go also sometimes with the 11 Reads official app to do some conversions. But actually, as I said, it supports the 11 Labs voices. You can play the files using 11 Labs. And it has some voices that the official app doesn't include, which is also a plus for the tech freedom. Another thing, which is something great, I think, is the OCR capability. So when you open a PDF, and for Arabic, in Arabic, for example, we have serious troubles with PDFs. Other than the PDFs that are just images, even if the PDF itself is text, usually the text is not rendered properly for the screen reader. So usually we will have a really scattered file, a terrible text with all sorts of problems. So the only solution is OCR, and Tech Freedom excels in this area. Actually, today I was asked by a friend to help in converting a PDF book, and I was really impressed with the abilities. It's really quick. It's sort of accurate. So I think the OCR in the PDF reader and the document reader, when you are dealing with PDFs, is a big plus to Tech Freedom. So you can perform OCR on the current page or on the entire document, and after performing the OCR, you will be able to read the text, either if it's an image or if there is really text, but it was not rendered correctly. So in both cases, you will be able to deal with the text, and you will get usually good results. So this is great about it.
Yeah, so you just touched on something that I was talking about earlier on, that PDFs are still a little bit of a challenge in certain circumstances, especially for those of us who are blind. And so it kind of takes me by surprise when Easy Reader would want to charge people in order to access PDFs. Now, but there was something that you mentioned, which is one of the things that I like in ebook readers, that ability, the support for a table of contents. And then the second one will be as to whether or not the text is exposed to the screen reader. For example, I'm reading something where I'm using the TTS put out, and then there's some new word that I don't know its spelling. I would like to find out how that word is spelled. And so if the thing does not expose it, and I'm 11 Labs reader, I'm looking at you, because you don't expose the text to those of us who are blind. I wouldn't be able to know how to spell that. So these are two important things to look for in an ebook reader. And I know that Easy Reader does have the ability to expose the text. And Legere, I think it did. I haven't gone to it lately, so I can't say that with certainty that it still does, but I don't see a reason why that should be taken away. But these are very important. I want to be able to jump to chapters, because I'm one of those. I don't want to read something from the beginning and all the unrelated stuff, copyrighted material, blah, 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 that I'm not interested in. I want to jump into the introduction or to chapter 1 or whatever and get started. And so for me, when I'm looking at ebook readers, it is important that it supports chapters, and it supports the exposure of text to the screen reader. And if it doesn't, that's fine. But if it supports chapters, that's important.